The equation of a circle can be represented by x minus h and all of this squared, then you add y minus k squared. And then this is the standard form of the equation of a circle, and this is going to equal r squared, or your radius squared. And of course, these two variables over here, or whatever numbers you have over here that are either added or subtracted from your x and y points, those are going to be, you can use those numbers to figure out where your center of your circle is. So let's say you have a circle with a center at the origin, like that. Your h and your k are going to be 0 because your center is at the origin, which is 0, 0, and then meaning your values over here are going to be 0. But then if you have it shifted to the right, oops, if it's shifted to the right, then your h is going to be a positive number, meaning you would still have x minus and then whatever number. So let's say this origin, or this center is at 3, 0. That means that your equation is going to look like this, minus 3, because if you remember from your transformations for any graph, you always use the opposite signs of what you'd think it would be. So it would be negative for when you're going right, and then up and down similarly would be negative. But in this case, it's still 0, the y value is still 0, so your y is going to be just y squared. You're not going to have a k over there. And then let's say you have a radius of 3 units, so this is going to be 3 squared because your radius squared is always on this side, which is 9. Here's another example where both of your circle is going to be shifted both ways. So let's say our center over here is at 3, -3. So now you would still have, or whoops, this is supposed to be squared. This is still going to be x minus 3 because you're still 3 in the positive direction on your, x-wise. So x minus 3 squared, and then you add. Now this is going to be plus 3 because you're going down. So your k is actually going to be -3. But then when you have y minus -3, that's going to become positive 3. So y plus 3 squared. And then again, let's say your radius is, this time let's make it 4. So your radius is 4, right? But then you have to square it, so it's going to be 16. Now, if you see something like this, where you have your radius and then all of this stuff is square rooted, x minus h squared plus if you see something like this where it's like that, you always have to keep in mind that this is just going to be your radius. It's not going to be a radius squared because all of this is square rooted, and when you take the square root of all of this, you're going to get r is equal to whatever.